Do you think this is an interesting one that someone talked to me a couple of weeks ago, was the first billionaire solopreneur? How long do you think we'll have to wait until that?
Oh, that's an interesting. So let's see here. So if we're talking billionaire in terms of enterprise value, so what
Yeah.
a software company might have a 10x multiple. So then you're talking 100 million in revenue. How long until a solo person can get some SaaS platform to 100 million in revenue? That might happen soon.
How long?
Especially if we factor in, maybe we say solopreneur and they've got a handful of offshore VAs or that kind of thing
Right.
doing the occasional task that they can't delegate. I wouldn't at all be shocked if that happened in the next couple of years.
Wow. We're talking fast then.
Yeah. No, and it's not so much because I think that the typical $1 billion company could be entirely replaced. But there's a like very specific, I'm thinking of essentially an enterprise SaaS company, right? Where both you've got a huge valuation multiple and a huge revenue per client and a bunch of retention, and it's already a very tech heavy kind of software centric business. Like, yeah,
It's now
for a
doable.
particular type of company, that'll happen for sure.
Yeah, amazing. Right. When someone says to you, a client or your prospect that you're talking, I want AI, what's my first step?
Yeah, so this actually happens fairly frequently. Like a lot of times when I have a first conversation with people, it'll be like, hey, I know there's a lot of exciting stuff going on in this space. I kind of feel like I'm left out or left behind. So I want to start doing something, but I'm not sure where to start, right? Or maybe they've got a couple ideas and they're like very aware that those might not be the optimal ideas. So the framework we go through here is to first identify the constraints of the business, like I was talking about earlier, and to then see if there's some way that we can use these technologies in order to attack that constraint. So the first step is deciding whether you're demand constrained or supply constrained. And the heuristic I like to use here is how often are you throttling back your sales and marketing efforts because you're worried you're not going to be able to deliver if more sales come in the door. If the answer to that is never or almost never, then you're probably demand constrained. And if you could just generate some more demand, things would be better. But if you're like, oh no, I'm holding off on sales and marketing frequently because I'm worried we're not going to be able to deliver, then in that case, you're supply constrained, and we want to be looking on that side of the house. So in the first case where we're demand constrained, we're going to be looking at things like marketing efforts, sales systems, that kind of thing. And in the other case where we're supply constrained, we're going to be looking at the workflows that our team is doing and seeing if we can build an agent to automate one or multiple of those workflows in order to free up a bunch of their time so that we can then go hit the demand side and fill their calendars back up.
So let's just take the example of demand constrained. So that's you haven't got enough leads. You're looking to build marketing and sales. So what can people do? Because I think I can say this as a small business owner with some confidence that what AI has done for content side, and that's part of lead generation, there are obviously other aspects of it. It has sped up the process. So even you run it through ChatGPT or Claude and you want to produce some content, whether it's organic or paid ads, whatever you're doing, you're trying to create some more visibility and more buzz. AI has sped that process up. It's not perfect by any stretch, and it's now becoming a lot more obvious to people when they're doing things like that. What do you suggest when we want to sort of build more leads, generate more sales? like, well, how do you approach that?